Book of Hours is determined to remain an essential platform that offers a creative interpretation for lockdown skeptics and experts who have been censored by mainstream press. Thanks to your donations, we can carry on doing this essential work as working artists. These big issues of the day are vital and need to be heard. So please share our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, make a one-time donation on our PayPal page, but most importantly, please be a part of our team on our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/bookofhours and hit the blue button titled Become a Patron. Thank you. Hey urban planners, Tori Evenstar here, your one and only source for deep dives into public-private partnerships. Are you a chief resilience officer, a mayor, a representative from the private sector? Then grab your tote bag, conference crawlers. Resilient cities are the action du jour for the managerial class. Now that the Rockefeller philanthropists are funding resilient cities again, the money is flowing to make sustainability the foundation of urban planning and the future for cities around the world. The CROs and consultants are probably parachuting into your town right now, conducting feel-good meetings with city planners and politicians to create public-private partnerships. Fascism is finding ways to leverage city resources, set up strategic and transformative levers to secure investments, develop new markets, adopt new technologies, and demonstrate new forms of infrastructure and building. They are creating value by spending lots of money on a resilience roadmap that will probably sit on a shelf when it's all finished. This is sustainable development. These are resilient cities. This is the fourth industrial revolution. Last year, the 100 Resilient Cities project, backed by the Rockefeller Foundation, was defunded and the program went away. But now it's back, and the Global Resilient Cities Network is in its place. Good for you. But that's not all. Using the same leadership, the Resilient Cities Catalyst, or RCC, was also launched to spectacular applause. By integrating current city planning efforts with comprehensive planning, master planning, and capital budgeting, and blah, 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 these consultants bring their resilience expertise to cities worldwide. Resilience has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? But what does it mean? It means rethinking and reimagining how to use weather and economic disasters to financialize cities and the people who live there by setting them up for social impact investing and pay for success finance. How awesome that tax money goes to planning, financing, and preparing for resilience. But nothing really helps anyone. Instead, they're using predictive analytics, artificial intelligence, and wearable and screen-based technologies to monitor and track poor people to profit from their misery. What better way to leverage municipal resources, bypass existing laws and bureaucracy to make cities and the residents in them more vulnerable to natural disasters, economic downturns, and climate change? As Colin Ward said in Anarchy in Action, planning, the essential grid of an ordered society, turns out to be yet another way in which the rich and powerful oppress and harass the weak and the poor. But what are resilient cities? They're places that sound like utopian living, like Pittsburgh, which claims world-class living, or San Francisco, a most affordable city with a billionaire every 80 blocks. Resilient cities include elements like equity, renewable energy, carbon neutrality, distributed power systems, local food production, eco-efficiency, and sustainable transportation. From the ruling class, we get middle-class solutions prescribed to impoverished communities like bike lanes and street trees. These are nice to have, but don't really address the decreasing quality of life issues generations of residents continue to face. Cue the nonprofit industrial complex, which takes over the conversation, brings in other partners with expertise to explore and deliver the solution to the city, which may not ever get implemented. Planning project complete. Not so fast, House of Card builders. As Melvin Weber pointed out, planning is the only branch of knowledge purporting to be a science which regards a plan as being fulfilled when it is merely completed. There's seldom any sort of check on whether the plan actually does what it was meant to do. These consultants and their advisors are only peddling snake oil solutions and a false sense of urgency. Because the same system that created the very need for true resilience to economic and environmental disaster will not and cannot change anything. Instead, they'll repackage it as projects that aim to improve the lives of the poor and vulnerable while padding the bank accounts of the project directors. Reality check. They will maximize profit by channeling the impoverished into systems designed to exploit their vulnerabilities and harvest their data indefinitely. Do you remember the disaster of Hurricane Katrina? The poor and homeless were locked inside the Superdome and left for dead, while the wealthy made money from their misery and through disaster capitalism. Resilient cities will be more vulnerable to economic and environmental disasters. They'll be Katrina on steroids. So remember, the resilience in resilient cities is for investors and the ruling class. XOXO Coroni refugees. Tori Evening Star signing off now, reminding you we're all in this together. Ta!
We'll leave it there.
We'll leave it there.